Friday. It's 7:15 and I'm at home. I'm getting ready to leave and go pick up my Starbucks because it's Friday. I'm just taking, I'm not taking a lunch or anything today because we get off at 1, so I'm just gonna eat lunch at home. But I am gonna bring this Trader Joe's blueberry breakfast bar. So I'm just grabbing that and opening the blinds. Today it's 90s days, so I'm just wearing this shirt that says, take me back to the 90s. I do have a 90s like little warm-up suit that I wore a couple years ago that I could have worn, but I just wanted to wear a sweatshirt today, so I ordered this off of Amazon. And that's where we're at. So I'm just gonna open the blinds. And Woofy is downstairs. Woofy is my dog. Woofy Goldberg is his actual name. I adopted him from a friend of mine in March. He is right here. Woofy, say good morning. Just spread out, spoiled, ruining my couch with his big body. He's the biggest dog I've ever had personally. I've had other dogs. I had a miniature pinscher before. Her name was Genesis. I had to put her down a few years ago. She was my heart and soul. I had her since she was a puppy. And when I put her down, she was going on 16. She was a tiny little sassy thing. And then before Woofy, my dog brother, sorry, I'm just doing a lot of hand shifting here. My dog brother was living with me, Riley, and he was another small dog, and he was a mix between a Pomeranian and a Chihuahua, we think. We don't know with 100% certainty because my mom got him for free from Target one day. We don't even know his birth date. So when I got Woofy, Riley went back to my mom because she was letting me keep Riley after I had to put Genesis down. I initially took Riley because where she was living at first, she couldn't have a dog. And then there was a period of time where I had Riley and Genesis. And then when I put Genesis down, I couldn't bear to not have Riley. So my mom had moved by that point and she was letting me keep Riley just for comfort. And then when I got Woofy in March of last year, I think it was, she took Riley back. All that to say, Woofy is the biggest dog that I've personally lived with by myself. And Woofy's had a week where he hasn't been his most obedient. He's had a couple accidents in the house, in the office, and has gotten in the trash. And so now I'm contemplating after break maybe confining him back in this area here, the laundry room's back there, which is what I did when I first got him. But then he learned how to jump over the little gate that I had. And last night I found out that there are taller gates that I could get that he would not be able to jump over. So I'm thinking about it. But none of that has anything to do with teaching. That's just a little peek into my non-teaching life. So I'm just here to say good morning. I'm gonna go pick up this piece of hair, my Starbucks, and then I'm gonna head to school and check in with you when I get there. Right, I'm in class now. I just finished eating, excuse me, my egg bites from Starbucks. I have my drink here. Today's drink, let me try one more time. I'm gonna say that's a 7.5 out of 10. But that's okay. So I just thought I would show you what the plan is for today, since I have a few minutes before the bell rings. I have my slide up already. So on today's agenda, they turn in their Greek and Latin root packets on Friday. This is something that I do every week. I'll show, let me see. So over summer break, in one of my summer vlogs, I showed this to you guys. And so one of my goals this year is to just be better at vocabulary instruction. So I'm making use of the Greek and Latin root packets in the sense that they get a new packet every week, but I didn't want them to like finish the packet and then disregard the 10 new Greek and Latin roots that they got. So this year I started creating quizzes that went with every packet so that they felt pressed to learn and understand the meanings of different Greek and Latin roots. And then I also made these cards so that after they finished a packet and took the quiz, they would add these cards to this ring that they keep attached to their table group, so that when we read new stories from Study Sync or they come across new words that they don't understand, they don't just bypass the word or just say, I don't know what that means, or even like Google it or go to the source, but that they really start using like word attack skills, like looking at word parts, because that's what they're going to need to do should they encounter words they don't know when they're taking like a state test or SATs down the line. So I did make enough to get me through the first trimester. And now I'm at a place where I don't have any more of these cards and I don't have any more quizzes. So these are just color coded by week, and then they just add to it. So when we do the vocabulary routines for Study Sync and they get assigned a word, they know the first thing that they should look at with that word is breaking it down into word parts. Is there a base word? Is there a prefix or a suffix that they could use? So they turn in their packets on Friday. There won't be a quiz this week because I don't have any quizzes made, and that's one of the big things I'm supposed to work on during Thanksgiving break. And I'm gonna say not supposed to, but that I will. And then they're gonna take the Firekeeper's Daughter quiz. This is quiz 3. We read through chapter 21. Again, the kids are enjoying it. It is more of a, it's a book that's not on the district's curriculum, and I know that's a giant controversy everywhere. So what I always do, as I've mentioned before, is before we start the book, I message parents, I send them the Goodreads link and say, if you don't want your child reading this book, let me know. And that pretty much covers my bases. If at any point during the reading of the book, a parent reaches out and says, oh, now I don't want them to read it, then we won't. But so far I haven't had any parents say that. And then with the passage violence in the movies with Study Sync, we're gonna focus on author's point of view. So that passage has 2 people talking about the existence of violence in the movies, whether it's contributing to more violent behaviors in kids or not, or whether or not really Hollywood studios should be held responsible. One person is pro allowing Hollywood to keep violence in the movies, and one person is against it. So we've read the passage once, just read through it, didn't really discuss too much about it. Today we're probably gonna listen to it again, and then they're gonna work with these little mats that ask a question. So the question I pose to them is, the authors of these articles hold different points of view on whether or not violence in the movies has a negative effect. Which author is more convincing? Which author supports his or her points with strong evidence? And I have a typo in here, I just realized. So they're gonna go through these steps. It tells them step 1 is to write, step 2 is to share, step 3 is to discuss, step 4 they're gonna come to a consensus, step 5 they're gonna select the evidence that backs up their consensus or their point, and then be ready to share. Like, this is the main focus of the day. This is the same product that I showed before, where they were asked to identify the theme of the monkey's paw. This is one of the slides, and I know a couple of people have asked for the link to that, and I'm gonna make sure to add that link in the description box of this video. The only downfall of it is it says you need to be able to print this on legal size paper, which you kind of do. I think because this area is bigger than just your standard piece of paper, so you need legal size paper, although it doesn't take up the entire space of the paper. So that is the plan. During my prep, which is gonna start first period from 8:10 to 9, I'm gonna be working on grading the social studies things that I prefer to grade on 2 screens. In addition to that, normally the week or the Friday before Thanksgiving break, we do have like a little Friendsgiving in class. The kids are assigned someone in class to write a nice card to, and that's kind of their ticket to the Thanksgiving or the Friendsgiving feast. We're not doing that this year. Like, it has taken a while for this class to get to a point where they've kind of earned that, or I feel like we're at a space to do that. So neither Miss Lawrence or I are doing it, because we would normally do that jointly. It's just gonna be a standard day of work. But what I am gonna do that I normally do every year is I always show this video that I found on YouTube that gives the indigenous perspective on Thanksgiving. So the title of the video, I'll just go back so you can see it. The title of the video is this one here, Why These Native Americans Observe a National Day of Mourning Each Thanksgiving. I've also shown this one where indigenous people describe Thanksgiving using one word. That video is about 2 minutes and 21 seconds. And I have shared this one in the past where Native girls talk about the real history behind Thanksgiving. That one's like a minute and a half. But I always show this one just because I feel like it's a little bit more informative. and a little bit more involved. So I will share that. And we don't do a whole lot with it. I just basically say, you know, as a history teacher, it's important for me to make sure you guys understand that for most of us, Thanksgiving is a time to get with your family and to talk about what you're thankful for and express gratitude and eat great food. And it's kind of this joyous thing. And we've all heard stories about the first Thanksgiving, you know, when we were in school, but it's my job to also present the other side of what Thanksgiving is to some people and let them know that not all people view Thanksgiving the same way, and we have to acknowledge that and accept that. So I will show that video, and that's it. 1 o'clock typically comes fast. So that was the bell. So I'm gonna go, and what is that over there? There's a foreign object across the room. And I probably won't talk to you again until after school because I need to be focused during my prep period. So talk to you later. It's 1:36. I'm still at school to some degree. I lied. School was out 36 minutes ago, and I said I was leaving at 1. But I absolutely positively just want to get this one assignment graded. Excuse me, I have to get something that just fell, which is this personal dictionary. Oh my God. Okay. My gavel fell. The personal dictionary, I refuse to go home until it's graded because it's been sitting there for a while, and it's the thing I need 2 screens for. I just finished grading my homeroom classes personal dictionary. Now I'm going to do switch, and luckily it doesn't take very long because it's just 4 words that they needed to have entered. No, I don't want that. So it doesn't take long, but it feels long just because I want to hurry up and go home. So I'm going to do that. Before I talk about how the day went, do you know what's really weird about middle school students? What's weird is that it's like they feel as though they have to be loud. That they essentially have to be yelling at each other all the time. Like, not in class necessarily, but when they're outside and just talking to each other, for the most part, they're just super loud. So it's after school. Some kids are still in the front of the school because they're waiting to be picked up. And I can hear like everything they're saying because they're just yelling, just yelling. And I can guarantee you, most of them are probably standing right next to the person they're talking to. But there's something about teenagers that they feel the need to be loud, or they want everybody to hear what they're saying or doing, or it's like some way to get attention. I don't know what it is. I don't really think I did that when I was younger, because I was kind of quiet. Not kind of, I was really pretty quiet and kept to myself because I am naturally an introverted person. But I'm like, what is it? Like, why do teenagers do that? What is that about? Those are my thoughts today on teenagers. As far as how the day went, we did not get to do any of the study sync stuff. Again, it's minimum day, and the class periods go by really fast. And the Firekeeper's Daughter quiz was the priority. And I always just underestimate how long that's going to take, because they're not multiple choice. They have to actually type in their answers, and some kids are just slow typing. Some kids give elaborate answers. So all we did in both core class periods was I showed them the video about how for some indigenous people, Thanksgiving is actually viewed as a day of mourning. We talked about that. Then the 8th that I worked with made a booklet to go over the quiz for the Firekeeper's Daughter, which is more than generous because these quiz questions aren't even that difficult. And then they took the quiz, and when they finished the quiz in both classes, there was like maybe 15 to 20 minutes left at most. And that really wasn't enough for me to get anything started. I didn't want to start something that I wouldn't be able to finish in the time that we had left. So it's rare that it happens, but I basically said, guys, we have about 15, 20 minutes left. You know, you can just kind of relax, hang out with your friends, just, you know, do whatever you think you want to do for this time, as long as it's, you know, quiet and not, you know, something outrageous. And just to point out the differences between my two classes, my homeroom class, they just kind of hung out with their friends. They were pretty quiet. It's just always, when they're doing that, it's like a low humming sound of people talking. My switch class, I really don't think they know what the definition of quiet is. Everything they do has to be loud and like big to some degree, like not because they're misbehaving, they're just loud. They're just loud. So what they chose to do was some game they were playing that involved them tapping on the desk. Couldn't tell you the rules, couldn't tell you the rationale behind it. All I could tell you is that it was loud, and it was actually not a quiet activity, but they were having fun, so I let it be. And then school ended, and then I decided I need to stay here and grade these so that it's not hanging over my head. So that is what I'm gonna do. So the next time you see me, like, I don't know if you guys can hear the teenagers now, somebody just yelled. The next time you see me, I am going to be walking out the door. That will be the next time you see me with my backpack on my back. That I will also try and remember to find the link for. Because I've had a couple people ask about it. I found the name of it. I think the company's name is Poppies and Peonies, or Peonies and Poppies. It's one of the two that I got over the summer. And it is my first venture into carrying a backpack to work. So I'm gonna finish doing this, and then I'm gonna get myself packed up, and then I'm gonna head out and say goodbye to you guys. Okay, I just finished grading all the personal dictionaries that were turned in. It is, what, 2:03, so as you can see, it doesn't take very long at all to grade a class set. And my switch class, just, it's more likely in that class that more students will not complete an assignment. It's a problem in both classes, but it's more frequent there. And quite a few kids did not complete this assignment, this very simple, basic assignment that they were given class time to complete, and they had plenty of time to complete it in class, and they are given the opportunity to work on assignments they don't finish at any given moment between the two classes. And the assignment only involved 4 words that were defined for them already in the textbook, in the glossary, and in the lesson. And all they had to do was fill in those 4 boxes, type the word, copy the definition in one box, find a Google image to match the definition in another, and then reword it in their own words. And I have 28 students in my homeroom class. I think 14 of them didn't do it, so about 42% of the students in that class said, no, I'm just not gonna do it. And it's an easy assignment. It is one of the easier assignments. And so when we talk about like just high levels of apathy, that's what we're talking about. And there's no reason. There's no reason they couldn't have done it. They are provided with Chromebooks at school. Most of them have devices at home. If they don't have a device at home, all they have to do is tell me. We get them a device they can take home, which I have done for multiple students this year. Again, like I said, they were given class time to do it, and it was more than enough time to do it if they chose to. And they just said, no, Miss Robinson, I'm not going to do that assignment. Not at all. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. And there's nothing I can do about that. But it continues to be frustrating. So with that being said, I'm gonna go home. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. The dilemma on breaks is always, do I wanna go home and just knock out all the work I need to do in the very beginning of break and then just rest the rest of the break? Or do I wanna rest and do the work, you know, at the tail end of the break when I'm feeling rested? I don't have an answer to that question right now. My priority is going to be to go home and eat and get woofy walked and just kind of see how I feel after that. So we'll see. But I'm gonna end the vlog here. If you enjoyed today's vlog, please give this video a thumbs up. I'm gonna put that in my purse. If you would like to leave a comment, please do so, but let's keep it positive. I will make sure to acknowledge and or respond to that. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And I will be sure to link the placemat that I showed you guys earlier in the description box, although we didn't get to use it today, as well as remember to find the link to this backpack. Again, I know the company name is Poppies and Peonies, or Peonies and Poppies. It's one of the two, in case I somehow forget. And it is a backpack. I have liked it all school year so far, but you can also carry it as a shoulder bag if you haven't seen that. Like, it does have a strap so that if I wanted to carry it on my shoulder, I could. I haven't yet, so I'll be sure to list both of those. Other than that, as always, I hope that you're well, and if you're not well, please be well, and I will see you guys tomorrow.